in the book is Nile Rodgers, Le Freak, an upside-down story of family, disco, and destiny. And there's a great story in here, which of course I can't find at the moment. But it's actually not a story. It's a couple of paragraphs about how influential and beautiful going out at night in a nightclub setting can be. Can you kind of expand on that, maybe in relation to 54?
You know, when Studio 54, and I've said it many times, was really one of the most magical. I know it's easy for us to sit here and be romantic about it,
Right.
but it really was something really magical and really special. And if you think about a guy like myself, who's a New Yorker, pretty poor, average guy, when I finally was part of the Studio 54 inner circle, there was this sort of magic that made you feel like, when you heard people talk about famous artists or epochs in other forms of, art, like, oh, the so-and-so's blue period or the blah, 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 or the deco, that kind of movement. That's the era of Studio 54 in the old days, like in the beginning, was so magical to be able to rub elbows with the smartest of the smart, the coolest of the cool, the trendiest of the trendiest, and all feel like you're on the same plane. Like there was no, like you could roll up on like anybody and say hello, and they were like, cool. It was like, wow, man. I was like, man, I'm like with Truman Capote, and he's like, hey, man, how you doing? And I'm like, Halston is my man now. And I remember when I wrote the song, He's the Greatest Dancer, and I wrote the line, Halston, Gucci, Fiorucci. I was actually doing that because I wanted Sister Sledge to be the archetypical hip 16-year-old hot chicks from the New York area talking about this hip world of fashion and stuff. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about endorsements or anything like that. I cannot tell you how many products I got. My office, it was the funniest thing. It looked like the Halston warehouse. I mean, they were dumping stuff on me. I was like, dude, no, it wasn't. It wasn't because, I liked Halston. He was really cool, but I wasn't trying to give you props. I was trying to make Sister Sledge look really cool. And it was that kind of thing. It was magical to think that a guy like me was friends with Halston and I could hang out with, people you only read about. They were like, it was mythical.
Now, when you were on our show, you said you used to quote, and I quote you all the time. You described that window of Studio 54 in a Black Panther term. Do you remember that? You called it liberated territory.
Liberated territory. That's go ahead, girl. Go ahead. That's exactly right. And I used to be a Black Panther, and that was the thing, is that the concept of liberated territory to us meant that it was safe. People were in a place where they were safe from that outside world that was dangerous. Now, we created our own danger, but it's funny when I tell people the story of my office at Studio 54. I was in the women's bathroom. And the first time a girl ever took me into that bathroom, I was holding back. I was like, oh, no, this is so weird. This is wrong. And I was in there, and they're like, no woman was weird. I was like, wow, this is cool. Everybody was fine, and they're just all in there doing their hair and whatever. And I'm in here with the girl, and next thing you know, I just said, well, let me try this on my own. And then one day I walked in there on my own, and that was my room. I was like, wow, this is cool.
And you never left.
I'll take my drinks in here, please. And it's true. It was just nothing ever felt dangerous. No girl ever asked me to leave that stall ever. And in women's bathroom, that's real estate. That's prime real estate there. Guys, we get to go on this trough, right? So 30 of us can go at one time. The women's bathroom, there's a line that looks like you're going to see Star Wars or something. So it was liberated territory. I was part of this special group, and I wasn't anybody special. In other words, I didn't walk in and they didn't go, oh, there's Nile Rodgers. But once you got past the velvet rope, it was cool. It was like, Checkpoint Charlie. They're here, so they're cool. And it's really how it was. I mean, you guys were there. I mean, it was magical. And you would meet people. I've met people at Studio 54 that have been my lifelong friends. We just meet, and that's it forever. They've been my friends. It's never changed. And I've seen Mark clubs all over the world. I walk down the street and go, Mark is the doorman. What are you doing here? It's like all over the world.